These days, nearly every graph about Meta looks like this. CapEx is rising sharply. AI infrastructure, data centers, hardware and R&D eating billions every single quarter for Meta. Profit margins are under pressure from hardware losses in their ElevenLabs division. Revenue from ads is slowing because of TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And now, AI assistants are also pulling away the attention. Meta's investors are giving warnings. What happens if Meta doesn't own the device layer this time? In other words, the red lights are flashing for Zuckerberg. But here's what most analysts miss. The one metric that should keep Mark Zuckerberg up at night. The one that could reshape Meta's future more than OpenAI, more than content moderation, more than ad revenue is this: device dependency. If the next AI hardware wave is controlled by somebody else, like Apple, Microsoft or Google, Meta might get locked out all over again. And that's the real story we are unpacking today. Not Zuck fears OpenAI, but Zuck fears becoming a tenant again in someone else's AI hardware empire. Before we start today's story, we are proud to be part of the 01 network by Zerodha, which allows us to do in-depth stories of businesses around the world. So here's what everyone believes. Mark Zuckerberg fears OpenAI because ChatGPT is stealing attention. Because Sam Altman built the hottest product in AI. Microsoft is backing OpenAI and Meta is scrambling to catch up with the Llama model. That's the surface story. But here's the real threat Zuck is obsessed about. Remember the full page ads Facebook ran to go against Apple's privacy policy a few years back? Facebook got trapped under Apple's walled garden and its revenue took a massive hit. Also, Meta's enemy is not OpenAI. Apple-like gatekeepers in the AI era are the real enemies. You see, at GrowthX, we have thought about this a lot as to why some people are able to leverage this AI boom while others are still stuck. And honestly, it comes down to three important things. First is learning the right foundations of AI. Second, surrounding yourself with fellow AI tinkerers and leaders. And lastly, you will need the right tools to integrate AI into your work. This is where GrowthX fits in perfectly because our members have access to all three of them from day one. An exclusive community of 4,500 plus members from places like Meta, Lovable, Sarvam, Notion, ElevenLabs, Google, Microsoft, and more. These are people you can trust, learn from, and build with. That's how you become an AI-first leader. Check out more about GrowthX from the link in the description. Let's rewind back to 2010s, the iPhone era. Facebook built its entire empire on iOS and Android. Billions of users, tens of billions in ad revenue. One of the most powerful companies in the entire world. But it lived under Apple's rules. 30% tax on in-app purchases. App Store approval processes that could kill features overnight. Privacy policies that Apple could change on its wish. And then came iOS 14 in 2021. Apple's app tracking transparency update. A big blow to Meta's revenue. Meta's own disclosures reveal that app tracking transparency update costed it $12.8 billion in just 2022, with ongoing annual impacts estimated at $50 billion. Because of this, Meta's customer acquisition cost increased by 2.5x overnight. Now let's map the usual chain. What happens when one company controls the AI device layer, which is basically a device control for all AI assistants? Whoever owns the AI device layer, maybe the glasses, the earbuds, the AR, VR, you name it, controls the daily distribution of intelligence. Here's what flows from that. First, ads, commerce, social interactions get mediated through these devices. Today, you scroll Instagram on your phone. Tomorrow, your AI glasses suggest restaurants while you're walking down the lane. Second, network effects that are locked in. Once you wear a Meta glass, your AI assistant is tied to WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, and Facebook. Your social graph lives there. Third, culture shifts from typing to whispering to devices. The interface changes. Voice, gesture, eye tracking. Whoever controls that interface controls the future of human-computer interaction. And that's the usual chain. And that's why Zuck is betting his entire company on devices. Now I'm explaining all of this. You might think that this is some 5-year bet. It's not. The tipping point is happening now. The first signal was the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are already AI enabled. They already have something called live multimodal perception, meaning it has camera plus AI. You can look at a building and ask, what's the history of this place? And the AI will tell you. These devices have gotten to 3 lakh unit sales in just first year. It's absolutely modest, by the way, by smartphone standards, but it is very significant for a first generation AR product in the entire world. And more importantly, user engagement with these glasses is 40% daily active users. There's another signal. If you remember, in 2021, Meta went ahead and rebranded itself. Zuck wasn't just changing the spelling of the company, he was pivoting the entire company and positioning them for hardware plus AI. Of course, there is some angle of PR in this, but there is a lot of strategic reorientation that happened at Meta. The third signal, the spending. The 40 billion burned into Meta's ElevenLabs. Despite investor backlash, if you remember, Meta stock got hammered when they did it for the first time. Despite that, every single quarter, they have gone ahead and experimented. That's conviction. And the final signal, Zuck's open letter about personal superintelligence. He's not talking about ChatGPT competition. He's talking about AI assistants that live with you in your devices, mediating your entire digital life. The question isn't whether Meta can build better AI than OpenAI. The question is, will you be wearing Meta's glasses when you talk to that AI? Because if you are, Zuck wins. If you're not, he's right back where he started. Locked out, paying rent, watching someone else own the future. That's the game. That's the bet. And that's why the red lights are flashing. And that's the one metric Zuck will not compromise on, which is device independence. That's all for today's story. I'll see you in the next one.